Hey, how's it going? I am Merkaba18. Today I'm going to do another video in which I try to imagine a Rainbow Six Siege operator in Rainbow Six Extraction if they were ever added. So we're going to be talking about Cade today, and Cade is an interesting one. He's really useful in Rainbow Six Siege as a area denial, sort of reinforcement gadget op, and we're going to talk about how I think he'll be implemented in Rainbow Six Extraction if he is ever added. So let's talk about a few things before we get into that. This is based purely on my imagination, and there is nothing that you should base that on other than that. And just use your imagination, have some fun with this. So let's talk about Cade. He is a area denial operator, as I said, and he has a gadget that he can throw. This is called the Cade Claw, and let's say I throw it right there. It will then take a few seconds to deploy. Takes a long time to deploy there compared to most gadgets, but then it will electrify this wall so that any gadget that is attached to it will be automatically destroyed. Now, if you also, as an operator, if you're walking by this wall, it will also do damage to you, just a little bit of tickle damage, enough to make you want to move, and it'll also, I believe, slow your movement. So you want to be very careful to avoid the electrified areas. Now, EMPs can remove that temporarily, and there's ways in which to counter it. But for the most part, the thing that you need to know is that that claw will electrify a specific area of effect, denying access to that wall through gadgets, whatever it may be. It's sort of like, okay, this wall is reinforced, I can breach it. Well, guess what? Cade counters that breach. So it's a way of like giving you an extra layer in Siege. And then you can also do it with these by electrifying hatches, and it takes a second, and then that hatch is harder to breach now. Now there's, again, ways to counter it. So how would that look in Rainbow Six Extraction? That's an interesting question, and I don't know exactly, but I think there would be one specific way that you could see it. So one of the things that they have done in Rainbow Six Extraction is they've altered people's abilities so that they are implemented in a way that retains some of the core pieces of what a gadget does, while also making it more oriented around PvP, or PvE, excuse me. And they don't have to balance it around Rainbow Six Siege because of the competitive scene and because of the nature of player versus player. So with this in mind, I think you'll see him have a electrified gadget in which he can throw down, let's say we're defending a sabotage tower here, right? We can throw that down like right there, and then anything that walks through that area will automatically become electrified and or disoriented temporarily. I can imagine a way in which that electricity can kill certain levels of Archeans. I think one of the more interesting ways that you would see this implemented too is, let's say, a hard counter to the Apex. One of the things that's interesting about Apex is, as they stand at the timing of this video, is that you cannot walk up and melee an Apex because they have this like bubble around them that will prevent you from getting close to them. It'll do damage to you and knock you back. So let's say Cade has this electrified claw and you chuck it at an Apex. That shield then goes down and they become frozen in place for a short amount of time, and then your friends can walk up and remove them from existence. Imagine a world in which there's new Archeans that have that as well, in which maybe the electrified claw, if you chuck it at a smasher, removes the entire carapace of a smasher, or permanently disables a immortal smasher. So the electrified claw, especially as a way of progressing the character, I can imagine a world in which that would temporarily mitigate certain mutations. So you have an immortal smasher on the map, he's chasing you around, you have one Cade Claw left, you chuck it at him. He doesn't die per se, but it traps him in that electrified field and he can't move. So you retain the importance of the mutation because you have to use an ability to counter it, and you can't just pretend that it doesn't exist, but then you use your ability and it stops them from moving, let's say for 5 minutes or 30 seconds, whatever it may be. You know, I'm not a game developer. You guys decide those kinds of things, not me. But it temporarily disables the Immortal Smasher. Or let's say you reinforce a wall. Here's one other way I can also see this progressing with this character. Let's say you reinforce a wall. Any kind of breacher that tries to run up here, as it currently stands, breachers will run up to these walls and create holes in them pretty quickly. And breachers, smashers, different kinds of Archeans can create holes even in your reinforced walls. Takes them a little bit of time sometimes, or doorways, it takes them a little bit of time as well. Let's say they run up to this wall and it's reinforced and then electrified. It can destroy or knock them back. in certain ways, or it can create an effect in which it will eviscerate them or remove them or make them not even want to go near it because it hits them with electricity. They shock. They go, okay, we're going to go around this direction and try to get in through this way, so that you can create a way in which nothing goes through this area. They have to come through here, and all you have to do is sit in that corner and wait for them. So that's one of the more important things that I would see as a progression element to Cade if he's ever implemented in the game. I think it'd be dope as hell to see that. It's one of the weakest parts of reinforcing walls and setting up defenses as it stands right now in Extraction. And especially as new operators are added and as new proteans and mob types and mutations are added, I can see a way in which you can even further implement changes to Cade to make him even better. What do you guys think? What do you think I got right here? What do you think I got wrong? What combination of these things do you think we'll see in Rainbow Six Extraction if he's ever added? Please let me know in the comments below. And remember to subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done that. Like the video, and make sure to go check out my Twitch channel over on Merkaba18. I am live Tuesday through Friday every single week. We play Rainbow Six Extraction. We play new releases. We have a lot of fun. Make sure to check it out. And I will see you again for the next video.